All right, let's head straight to the markets now. Will Ibong join us for the details? Good to have you on the market, Will.
Yes, ladies, good to be back and to talk about the market. But looking at the markets, I'm just glad to see that Nigeria's NGX was in the green at intraday. I don't know, at the time I checked,
right.
I'm hoping to see that.
Not 100K yet.
And then I hope that is sustained till the end of the, at the close of the bell, because what we had last week and the week before was just bloody red.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath.
Yes, we don't
about 2 weeks straight.
We don't need that anymore. It's so much pullback, and we lost that 100K level.
But you know that's an opportunity for some investors.
Of course.
So some need that.
But some are crying. Some investors are crying. But let's just kick off with the markets. We begin with major equities, and we've seen the sentiments were mostly positive at intraday. Nigeria's NGX, as I was saying earlier, was in green at intraday. We see South Africa's JSE also in the green, 0.43%. Elsewhere, seeing Egypt EGX is down nearly 0.8% today at intraday, 0.79% to be precise. Still within the 28K level. We see also Nairobi's Securities Exchange closing Friday's session in red territory. But let's take a look now. Let's check in on the NGX. That's Nigeria's NGX with Ambrose Omodion, is the Chief Research Officer, Invest Data Consulting, to tell us what's happening in the market. Why are we seeing this green close? I mean, not even a close. Why are we seeing the green at intraday? And if it can be sustained after the loss the markets took last week. So let's just check in. Ambrose, are you there?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Great, Ambrose. So we see that the equities market suffered that about 1.6 trillion naira loss in 1 week. That was last week. What are expectations for this week, especially now that we're seeing the green resurfacing at intraday?
For me, it's a good news, but we can't celebrate yet. But one thing is that when market pull back like this, it's an opportunity for investors to buy into value. Especially now we're also in any season, we're seeing a corporate action here and there. That means investors can take advantage of this pullback to buy for what? For dividend income. And for we traders, we're looking at to see how the Q1 number will come out, to see the state of the Q1 number, to give us an insight what the company's financial will be for 2024. If you want to start on a positive note, it's a signal, especially looking at the government policy, monetary and fiscal, that's going to impact the sector where the company is operating. That will give us an insight where we could also invest for capital appreciation, especially as we are seeing Q1 number coming anywhere from now. We have seen few others that will hit the market, and they are positive. If we see more on the service sector and the financial sector, already we have seen that their full year result was positive, and the factor that impacted is still intact. That we are still having a high interest rate. That means for banking sector, we are going to expect to see a better number. So we are looking at the rate of the risk sector, which is the banking sector. We have seen that Naira are appreciated, all this while. But that will not impact their Q1 because it's just at the late Q1 that was seeing the appreciation. That means if it is sustained in terms of appreciation, we expect to see that the FX losses they posted previous year and what will come for Q1 will also start reducing in Q2. That will now give investors an insight where they also putting their fund for investment. Also, don't forget that inflation has entered almost the peak in Nigeria history. And the fixed income interest, yes, people have said that we are for risk advert people to go there. But look at for a whole year, I'm going to keep my money down to earn 24%. And why in equity of any dividend of almost 9% for just a short period, capital appreciation of almost 30%. Also, you are above inflation. That's why investors should also balance their portfolio. If you know that you are risk advert, balance you go put some of your fund in risk asset like equity, and also non-risk asset like bond and treasury B. For me, it's time for us to balance our portfolio. It's not the time for people to panic. Yes, also we expect that by next month, the government will be celebrating their 1 year in office. We need to see more policy, if it will build on what they have done before, or that also change the economy. And also forget that because of this devaluation or appreciation we are seeing, our equity has become cheaper before the foreign investors. Don't forget that is why CBN has actually increased rate to checkmate interest rate inflation and take time to attract foreign portfolio. If they start coming, I believe that also will be a plus for the market. But all I need now is that investors should not invest just out of emotion, but invest intelligently and know where they're putting their money in equity and good sector, expect that will do well, where they will get a good return at the end of the day.
And the news is also coming in that foreign investors are already taking their money out after, getting that about almost 30% returns, in the fixed income market. So how is that really impacting? Is that why we're seeing more bullish sentiments in the equities market right now? Because they seem to be leaving with their money. And we've seen that Naira, though it's gaining, but it's like it's getting to a plateau or something. So what's happening there?
There's what we call a circular flow of funds, in the financial world. Now they have made money in a fixed income. They know that yes, they're likely to make more money also in equity. They're likely to move to equity. But one is very clear. Look at the volume that we're seeing in the market. it doesn't show that we're having foreign investors in an equity space yet. But the volume is very, very small compared to what we saw when the markets were rallying in January and also in the month of March. But now we're seeing a little volume. Tell you that institutional investors are still kind of looking at the market to balance their work. They are not selling. They see that there's still value in equity space. That's why I said for those that are designing investors, it's time for you to buy into value, because when you start seeing funds coming to the market again, you see another rally. For this pullback, nobody should not panic for pullback. It's better than any market. No market in the world remain on the up direction. That is the dynamics of equity market any time. We must go up and pull back to get opportunity to buy low and sell high. For me, there's no cause for alarm, especially if the poor number we're expecting beat expectation. That's because our insight what to expect this current financial year. We're good to go and expect that more policy will come. You can see that apart from saying that we are seeing appreciation in our exchange rate, good thing is that if it is sustained, it will boost productivity at the same time attract inflow to our economy.
Okay, now let's delve into the recent shakeup in the SEC, that's the Securities Exchange Commission. So that the commission now has a new DG that was appointed by Mr. President Bola Tinubu, with Mr. Momotimi Agama, as well as other new members on the board. Was this an expected move? Did you see this coming? And let me just go further. Mr. Agama has an impressive portfolio. What is expected of him, and what's the impact on the market, this shakeup? This shakeup will have the impacts you have on the market?
Yeah, it's expected that this shakeup will come, because if you want to drive investment, the apex regulator should be up and running, should be at the top, knowing what is happening. Yes, before now I was saying that SEC have been dragging feet, I will tell you. But with this kind of caliber of people who are seen as the new board and also the DG, we expect that they should step up their game. One, do that transparency come to the market. Let them be wide regulation that will take care of everything in the market. Whether we are doing cryptocurrency, we are doing equity, we need a proper regulation, and also protecting what investor. That is the mandate of every SEC anywhere, to protect what investor. I can see that we have seen less of interest of investor represented at SEC, but at this time, with the people who are seen at the board, we expect that they will do more by looking at their major role for regulation and also opening doors for investment to thrive in Nigeria. That is what we expect them. And also education is very key, because in a population of almost 200 million Nigerians, we have less than 10 million in the market. So that Nigerians education is still very, very low. Let the education beyond the elites, let's go to primary school, and those that are informal on the street, the Okadas and all that will now also help us, because don't forget that Nigeria market survived because of what? Because of local investor in 2020, where the foreign investor left us on our own and went out. I saw the market the price to 11 years low. But now, because of institutional investor and local investor, saw the market sustain in almost 4 years in uptrend. If we are seeing more Nigeria playing the market, that will not support the market for people to plan with the market. That's what I expect right now from SEC. That is what they do. But I believe that the new people have instead will have the quality of things to do that as we speak now. I have no fear that this set of people that are now appointed will do magic work in SEC. Let's see how they go. But let's give them time for them to plan. For you and I also, as a financial journalists, also have a way of making input or what we expect them to do. That is what that they should do between now and as the year is also going the year is going down already in April. Before the year runs out, we shall see where they are going, because 6 months is enough for you to assess anybody that want to make progress in anything.
So it's more like setting the agenda and seeing what the SEC, the new board, will run, how they'll run with that agenda. And let's see how the market will respond to that. We'll see positives coming out of it. But let's look at another organization that's had a bit of a shake-up, and that's First Bank. We do know that their extraordinary general meeting that was planned for April the 30th this month was to consider the bank's planned 300 billion naira capital raise has been cancelled. Also, they have a new CEO now, Mr. Olusegun Alebiosu, who was announced. He's the acting CEO, and this followed the resignation of Mr. Deshola Adeduton. What does this mean? When they cancel this meeting and they're planning to raise 300 billion naira, how does this cancellation and then the new CEO, the announcement, the appointment of the new CEO, how does this impact investor sentiments?
Yeah, actually, before now, I've said it that First Bank planning, First Holding planning, their right issue and order, it could take them a lot of time. A lot of issue on ground. But let's start from the court case. Even when they have any approval, they need to come out from court first before they can continue. Now we're seeing another move again coming, which is also not in interest of the bank. I will tell you, this will send a negative sentiment to the market about it. And no matter the strength of the bank, or no matter who is their chairman or who is their MD, for now, investors that this company has planned to work for extra, AGM for them to approve on their work on the right. Now it has been cancelled. And the same way people are expecting that also their MD was retired, another one has been appointed. Yes, investors have to wait to see all these things settle down before they can start looking at the work of that company. Especially also, if you look at the Fugas, but see that other Fugas result has come, yet to have, they only have yet to read the result as to speak now. And if you look at their, unaudited account that came around January, yes, we have seen that yes, the numbers of those that have results is even better than them. And also, the dividend payout ratio of that company also have not really interested a lot of investors. Despite the capital allocation was because of what we call momentum investing, a lot of what the holding structure and the personality that are behind all those holding structure that is changing in the bank. For me, investors are still taking time to look at what to come out of this, new appointment or what we call shake-up was seen that holding company that will stay investor where they are going. For me, investors now should play with caution. You can hold your position if you are people that are looking for capital appreciation, because I know that once it's settled, the personality behind them will also make move and the price will go. But if you are looking for dividend income, stay away from that company, because I don't see them paying you dividend that is commensurate to the price it's selling today.
And so what's First Bank trading currently at? What's the price?
They trade around 27 naira, and in the history of the bank for the past 5 years, their dividends have not exceeded 50 kobo. If the company is trading for more 27 naira, how much dividend going to pay to compare to that price? Or if they are going to do 100% increase in their dividend plan, that means from 50 kobo they paid the previous year to 1 naira. And that is not enough to support the price of 27 naira. You can see that other second-tier banks are paying even 80 kobo, 85 kobo, 70 kobo, 50 kobo. If Google, the first bank is paying it in 1 naira. Tell you that's why if you are investing for dividend, looking for that company. But if you are investing for capital appreciation or momentum investing, you can wait, because especially once they're able to settle their home or their settle themselves, expect to see that the personality behind that company is not because of the performance. Price also start rallying. That's why you depend on your investment objective as individual. That's why everybody in the market has different objectives. That's why you have traders, you have investors who will have driving you in the market.
So let's look at Nestle. That's another company, Nestle Nigeria PLC. It says it wants to revalue, or is revaluing its fixed assets. And the sole aim is to fix the negative shareholders' funds. And, we saw this because they had that loss in their 2023 earnings report. And we just want to know, when is this supposed to reflect in the books? We know that they had this huge, a substantial loss that we raised about 78 billion naira of shareholders' funds. How do you see this revaluation, cleaning up their books, as to say?
Yeah, for me, retaining your account or revaluing your account is not the problem as to speak now. What matters is that the company coming back was to profit. You know what happened, that the account was in red because of what FS losses. If this stability we are seeing in FS is sustained and they cannot plan, it will be a plus for them. But also it will now review or kind of expose that Nestle Nigeria is exposed to internal loans for their major Nestle International in Switzerland, because it's not only imported raw material have it into their operation because of FS laws. So that there are some loans that are running, that means it is now on them to kind of restructure that loan from their parents' country, so that at the end of the day they stay improved. You saw what Capri did. That Capri International came and also kind of increase their holding, so that this what the Capri was owing in Capri International would automatically be wiped by creating shares, converting that debt to share. For me, the same thing should also go for Nestle. And also don't look at what Nigeria just did recently. Yes, they've not started, but they given the market that I want to do right issue of 300 billion. Almost above what the banks are looking for funds to capitalize. It tells you that they are thinking that yes, they've trust Nigeria, they've been in Nigeria for almost 78 years. It tells you that they have the confidence, knowing that in Nigeria really about 53%, 54% is owned by Heineken International. That means if Heineken Nigeria can now take its own right, automatically they provided fund for Nestle for Nigeria to run. The same thing should happen in Nestle. Nestle International that has about 68 of Nestle should also come away for investing into Nestle to turn, and not only revaluing assets that will not bring them away from their lost position. Also, with the help of FS being stabilizing, that will be a plus. But revaluation will not do the magic they're expecting. They need to work to replan and know how to work their loans to provide that to share, because as we speak now, the share issue in Nestle is very, very small. It's less than 1 billion shares. They can do additional share by converting that loans to share has become a plus for them. Because if you are waiting to, what the value of assets they are looking like, if you look at it, what we will what they have about almost how many 78 billion loss that they posted. I think for me, it should rethink another strategy to what not only going to revalue assets to solve the problem.
Okay, so we were just looking at what very important, very interesting thing there. We saw that the plant and machinery was valued from 58 billion to about 238 billion naira. How does that work? Because looking at fixed assets such as machinery, they should be depreciating or appreciating. So what is the rationale behind this? Can you just shed more light? If you could tell us about that.
No, actually, they are using your current FS valuation. If you want to really start a new business now, you want to bring all those machines, that's the kind of price they are looking at. Today, you want to start the business of Nestle, the kind of business they are doing, you want to start bringing those machines. That means, not forgetting that those machines also have appreciated, as we just mentioned. But now they are looking at the value of what is the dollar exchange today, and that kind of machine is coming back in Nigeria from anywhere. That is the value. But for me, it's not clear. It's not direct. That is what they are doing, because they are looking at what is the value of Naira today and wooden, and that tried to change from 58 billion to almost 220. For me, it's not too clear. I know that in accounting, they will call accounting engineering, but that also will do it in a way that we investors will have confidence in what we are doing.
So we're looking at the markets now. How do you see the markets closing this today and for the rest of the week? Can you just give us a bit of projection, because we need some green hope here?
Yeah, for me, I expect that the market will be a mixed market for the week. But for today, the market is going to close marginally in green, because most of the the banks that put the market down for almost 1 week are trying to rebound today. If it's sustained, especially those that have their qualification day within this week, investors will trying to take position because of their qualification date. That will support the price. For me, we're going to see a mixed market today. But as far any Q1 number is ahead, any moment from now, once they come, that will change the cycle of the market, and also see what the CBN will be doing in their May edition of their next FPC meeting. We have seen that in mature economy, some big central banks are planning to cut rate, while others are trying to extend it. I believe that our own CBN to think that it is not interest rate alone to fight inflation. They should look elsewhere. That is why, because our own inflation is not a result of liquidity alone. It's a structural issue. They go beyond that. That will also help us to forecast for the month of May. But for this week, we're going to see a mixed market, and today, market will close light green, marginally green. Let me put that way. Yeah.
And so what about the rest of the week? Do we see the green continuing, though we say it's going to be marginal today? What do you see for the rest of the week?
I said it's a mixed market for the week. That means if market is up today, it's probably that we'll see another marginal rate tomorrow. Wednesday, it depends on the number that we the market, especially all those Q1 number that has 30th of April as the last day to release your first quarter have ended in the month of March.
Thank you so much, Ambrose Omodion, Chief Research Officer, Invest Data Consulting, for sharing your thoughts on Business Incorporated.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. So we'll just look at the Middle East now. Let's see where most major equities in the Gulf traded mostly negative at intraday. We see Abu Dhabi down 0.1% at 9,000 points. You see Dubai in the green on the flip side, trading up 0.54%. Now, still within the region, let's look at Saudi and Qatar indexes. They're in the red, 0.14% and 0.31% each. Now, we'll go to the U.S. We see stock futures pushed higher on Monday as Wall Street looks to finding its footing following a steep sell-off for tech companies. Now, futures tied to the S&P 500 rose 0.58%. We're seeing that on the screen. We're seeing that for the NASDAQ also it gained 0.74%, and the Dow Jones was up 0.48%. Now, we've seen that in the last week, they were a bit bloody, but NASDAQ and S&P 500 lost a lot, but the Dow, which had less tech exposure than the other two benchmark averages, was little changed for that week. Now, the struggles for equities are coming as the recent inflation readings have diminished hopes that the Federal Reserve will cut rates several times in 2024. And this week, we're also looking to see major economic updates, such as the GDP is due out this week on Thursday, and key inflation reading on Friday as well. Also, we're going to be seeing corporate earnings from that country as well. It's going to be a major factor for the coming days, with names like Tesla, Meta Platforms, American Airlines, Microsoft, and Alphabet all set to report in the week. But we're also seeing for Tesla, if I took Ladi, it's more like Tesla, we're seeing them, cutting the prices for some models of the electric vehicles. From the investors are a bit worried and cautious for that stock. And we also see that they're going to be reporting tomorrow. And that's a shift away from their usual traditional Wednesday for reporting their earnings. So it's kind of like What's the shake-up for? Why are they
Quite
changing
interesting.
tradition? Why are they cutting prices, slashing it down? Is it the China vibes? That's
Quite interesting
happening
what's
here?
happening with Tesla
With
at this
Tesla.
point. And I'm sure investors are wondering, where is the bottom? An analyst I listened to earlier did say the bottom is about 30% down from these prices. So quite incredible. We'll see how it plays out for Tesla going forward.
Yes,
But right here, Nigeria this week, I'm sure we're expecting some Q1 numbers, for some of these companies. It'll be interesting to see how
their
investors
numbers, react to
react
this.
in Nigeria. All right, thank you so much, Will, for the update.